Lux your way with the Lux Cravings boxes from Taco Bell. There's the classic $5 box, the indulgent $7 box, and a whole new obsession in the $9 box, the flaming hot grilled cheese burrito. Try the Lux Cravings boxes at Taco Bell today.
How's your day going?
Going good. Thank you. Yes.
Check out the all-new Blue and Orange store at the Boise State Hall of Fame. The Blue and Orange store has your best game day gear. We're talking jerseys, hats, bumper stickers, car flags, more than 4,000 hats on the hat wall. If you want the best Boise State gear, make sure you check out the Blue and Orange store online at theblueandorangestore.com or the all-new Blue and Orange store down at the Boise State Allen Noble Hall of Fame.
As sports fans, we may cheer for different teams, but there's one thing that we can all agree on. We want the game to be big. And with 3 levels, 30 cabanas, a 143-foot screen, 6 clean pools, and endless cold drinks, it doesn't get any bigger or any better than Stadium Swim in Las Vegas. All sports, all seasons. It's more than a pool deck. Stadium Swim. It's the only thing like it in the world.
Bronco Nation, when I score, Jackson pours. Each game I score a touchdown, head to Jackson's on Monday for a 49-cent fountain drink with Let's Go rewards. And don't forget your free banana, Jackson's. Let's go.
It's the all-wheel drive event at Lithia Ford of Boise. From hunting trips to ski trips to trips to Grandma's house. Nobody does AWD like LFB, Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
Find your sun with Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea. Made with real iced tea and real vodka. Cold, refreshing, and made for moments like these all year long. Let the good times cruise with Sun Cruiser.
When I want Boise State to win, I trust Coach Rice to lead the Broncos to victory.
And when I want the best painting and garage floor coating, I trust rowpaint.com to get that job done right.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Bronco Nation News Live is the only daily show that talks nothing but Boise State sports. And we do it with you. Give us your comments or questions in the ICCU YouTube chat. Or leave us a voicemail on the Signature Roofing voice inbox at speakpipe.com/BNN. BNN broadcasts come from the Sun Cruiser Studios. Sunny days call for Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea, made with real iced tea and real vodka. It's refreshingly smooth and easy to drink. Crack open a Sun Cruiser and let the good times cruise. BNN Live is presented by our title sponsor, rowpaint.com, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics, and our major sponsors, Jackson's, Taco Bell, Idaho Central Credit Union, Lithia Ford of Boise, and the Blue and Orange Store. Broadcasting from the Sun Cruiser Studios, here's BJ Rains with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
See how it is, Johnny?
Everyone good in the back row there?
Yeah. As always, appreciate you guys' time covering our team. Thankful for you guys and fired up for the opportunity in front of us. Thank you, Jesus, for an opportunity to coach this team. And God is good, man. Three-peat. The moment on Friday night with our team, and I was talking with our leadership earlier, was very, very fulfilling for me just as a coach and mentor in their life, especially knowing where we had been, a month ago and counted out and left on the mat, left for dead. And these players, our staff, just continue to go to work and continue to grow and just such a resilient group. We were in danger, and then, like we talked about, we were in danger, and then we became really, really dangerous. And that's a testament to our players, our coaches. So seeing the joy on their face during the game, after the game, is what makes it so worth it for me, because I love these kids. I know that God has such a great plan for them in life, more than just football, but seeing them go through hard things and come out on the other side champions, hats off to them. And thank you, Bronco Nation, those fans on Friday night, even in the rain. That was some of the loudest that stadium's been. And we got the best fan base in the country, period, end of story. So thankful for them and proud of what our team's been able to accomplish. Obviously not done yet. Got a huge opportunity to play one of the better teams in the country on Saturday night down in LA in the LA Bowl, playing Washington. Coach Fish has done a phenomenal job with their team, and obviously Washington's been really good for a long time. And Coach Fish is a phenomenal football coach in all three phases. They're going to be ready to rock. Offensively, they have one of probably the best offensive weapons in the country, and their quarterback, number 2. I mean, he is electric. Getting him on the ground when he scrambles is a task that not many can do. And he can make every throw. Both their running backs, number 1's an NFL draft pick. Both are going to be NFL football players. Their offensive line works great together. They got matchup nightmares at receiver. And they run an offense that puts you in a lot of conflict. Coach Fish is really the point man offensively. Runs it, does a great job with it. They got great coaches on their staff. I know a lot of them personally, and they do a really good job offensively. And then on the flip side, defensively, very, very well coached. They don't give up many explosive plays. They're going to fit things the right way in the run game. It's really hard to get off their man coverage. I mean, both their corners are 6'3 plus. Their safeties can run and cover. Their front's really, really good. They play well together, and that's why they're sitting where they're at. They're one of the better teams in the country, and defensively got a lot of respect for what they do. Special teams wise, they're very, very sound. They've been explosive at kickoff return, which is something that we got to do a really good job with our coverage units. And we know across the board, talent-wise, they've got a really talented team. That shows up a lot on special teams because you're playing with space. So ton of respect for Washington. We've played them a few times in the past, obviously prior to Coach Fish being there, but know a lot of their coaches and their staff and got a lot of respect for them. Jordan Powell, their tight ends coach, is a really good friend of mine. He actually was the offensive line coach at Azusa Pacific when I was a player there. And then he was a senior at University of San Diego when I was a freshman there. And so he's been a good friend of mine a long time. So I texted him earlier. I said, can we still be friends this week, or is it going to be awkward between both of us when he sees us? So he's a great friend of mine. And like I said, I think the world of their staff, think the world of Coach Fish. And this is why you play in bowl games, right? We're a football team. Our guys love playing football. And you got a national game and a national spotlight Saturday night in LA, in an area where a lot of our kids are from, against one of the better teams in the country. I mean, that's why you love college football. So our guys are fired up for the opportunity, and we got our work cut out for us preparing for a really good football team.
You've said in the past, this program's been built on beating teams like the Washington Huskies. I think you said after the Notre Dame game, it's nice to play these teams, but we got to start beating these teams.
Correct.
Is this one of those games, one of those teams like we need to win this game and get that monkey off your back, so to speak, and start beating these teams again?
Yeah, I mean, at Boise State, we have very, very high expectations here, and as we should. And so playing a team like Washington, we don't go into these games to try our best. We're working our tail off to find a way to go win this football game, just like Washington's going to do. And are they a very, very talented football team, very well coached? Absolutely. I believe in our team. I believe in who our team is, and we got to find a way to play our best on Saturday. And I believe if we play our best, we'll find a way to win.
In the past, you guys have gone down to bowl games. It seems like earlier this time, 2 days before the game. Is that just kind of just a quick turnaround, or is it just kind of a change in what bowl games are? Or?
Yeah, good question. I mean, it was just kind of how the LA Bowl is set up. Obviously, it is a quick turnaround. This will be game 14 for us, right? And it's really just like no time off. I mean, we had really an extra day, call it Saturday, and then we've been in game week since Sunday. And so it's nice that you stay in rhythm. Obviously, we're going to have some guys banged up for the championship game that we're going to next man up carry the flag. But it is, I think, the first bowl game in the country, which is awesome and has its pros and cons just like anything, but fired up for the opportunity.
Any update on Cage or any of the guys that might have a decision to make?
Yeah, I met with our leadership today and just talked. And I know hearing from them how excited they are about the game, but we'll continue to have those conversations throughout today and this week.
Do you expect to have anybody out at all for whatever reason this week?
We still got to go through the training room, Prater, and see kind of, we had some guys get banged up on Saturday. I'm sure, like I said, I understand the landscape of college football where a lot of our players are getting hit up from agents and different people in their future and all that. I do know I haven't met with our team yet. We're going to meet later tonight, but meet with our leadership. The message in the leadership meeting was we're not done. Right? We got one more game left to play. And like I said, our guys are football guys, man. They want to play. Will there be guys in the next 24 hours that decide maybe not to? And, okay. But I know the majority of our team right now, and when I met with our leadership, they're fired up for the opportunity on Saturday.
Having the game be so close together Saturday for both teams, not just you, would make that more likely guys would decide to play than if they had to sit around for a month?
I hope so. Yeah, I mean, it's you have really two more full speed practices left. It's not like we're playing on the 28th or 29th, your point, BJ. So I think there's a lot of positives to that of why to play. And at the end of the day, if someone, and how I am always, if you don't want to play in this game and you don't want to be a part of that's okay. That's your life. The guys that do want to play and are all about playing football and finishing what they started, those are going to be our guys we go to war with on Saturday.
You kind of touched on your experiences in this game 2 years ago yesterday, but for you, just everything around the game, what was the coolest thing about playing in this game?
Yeah, the stadium's awesome. I mean, SoFi, I remember the first time, 2 years ago, walking out there even before the game. I mean, it's, one of the best stadiums in the world. And so I think the atmosphere is awesome. I know, obviously, Bronco Nation is going to travel well. I know Washington's going to bring a bunch of fans. So I know the atmosphere is going to be big. And I think just playing on a national stage is a big deal for our program, right? I believe in our team, and we want to play in these games and play our best.
What's different preparing for a short turnaround, just in general, for both you and Coach Fish versus when you have 3 weeks like last time to get ready for a game?
Yeah, it's really just a normal game now, Bob, right? There's no sometimes you have bowl prep practices, right? So if we played in a couple weeks, you'd have a couple days to focus on the fundamentals and techniques and then maybe a little bit on the opponent. We don't really have that right now, right? We're in game week. The second it got announced on Sunday, we flipped the script and we were focused on Washington, and we've been really in game week mode. So it's really less of a bowl game than it is just really the 14th game of our season. It's the last one.
What is your take on bowl season in general? I mean, I know college football has changed, but forever, it was like a big honor to go play in these games, and now you have teams all together opting out, players weighing whether or not to play. And I know it's just like a new day and age, but what's your take on bowl season?
Yeah, obviously everyone's got their opinion, and I saw some teams that decided not to play and some of that, and that's everybody's prerogative, and got a lot of respect for whatever decision people make. Individuals that decide not to play, that's their life, right? We got 108 guys on our team, and they all have their own life to live. I know for me, you only get better at playing the game, right? And I always want to recruit and have a team full of football guys that absolutely love playing football. And they're going to keep score on Saturday. There's going to be a lot of people watching, and you're going to be playing with your team. And these are moments that you just love. And I think yes, there are guys in our team that are going to be playing in the NFL, but a lot of our seniors aren't. And I would never take an opportunity from our guys to not play in a bowl game with a group of guys that have absolutely earned the right to play this 14th game. To me, it's too special, right? Love this game, love the interactions that our players have, love the battle that's going to happen on Saturday. And our players do too. And so my thoughts on bowl season, I think there's going to be some change. I think the college football playoff is going to get expanded. I think it should. I think it should be open up a lot more. Does that mean bowl games are? I don't know, right? I control what I can control. But whenever there's an opportunity to play football, I want to be a part of it. Whenever there's an opportunity in a game for our team to play in, I want to be a part of it. And then I like that the game's quick. I think there's no time for us, to sit back and overthink things. It's game week, man. It's our Sunday. It was our Monday. We're rolling. And that way you don't lose any focus. And I just know for our program, we want to double down on football, guys, right? This is a football program. We focus on development here, and another opportunity to play. Last game of our season, 2017 was the last time we won our conference championship and a bowl game. Been a while. Talked to our leadership today about it. Like that's a big deal for this place. It hasn't happened since 2017. So we got our work cut out for us, but we're very, very fired up for the matchup. And bowl season, as it changes and goes, I'm sure there'll be a lot of things that change in this landscape over the next years. But I love playing as many games as we can.
What do you make of the playoff format moving forward? And obviously, with James Madison getting in and Tulane, a lot of talk about, that's got to change for next year or whatever to put in more power conference teams. How, I guess, confident are you that the Boise States of the world are still going to get their shot?
Yeah, we will always have a shot to make it to college football. I mean, you look at this year, we're probably one win away from being this year, which is on us to be better, to make sure we win those games. There's always going to be a shot for any team in the country if they play the way they need to get to the college football playoff. I think you look at it and guys that are maybe frustrated they didn't get in. Like for me, I'm not frustrated we didn't get in. We didn't win enough games. And there's guys that didn't get in. I didn't see anybody that was undefeated get left out. You control that. You control your work on the field. Now, is it going to change from this season? Probably. There's going to be pivots and changes, and college football is in a great place. Is there changes that needs to happen? Absolutely. But there's going to always be a shot for I think any school in the FBS, if they have a season that they handle their business, deserve the right to go have a shot at the college football playoff. Is it going to be expanded? I think it should. I think it'd be awesome. I think it's awesome for college football fans watching playoff games. You look at the FCS model. I'm not saying that's going to completely be able to go to FBS, but that's an exciting thing to go through a playoff run. So I'm sure there'll be changes, BJ, and I've read a lot of the same things that everybody else reads about, 2 group of 5 teams going to the playoff and how that's going to go. I'm sure there'll be changes, just like they made changes last year. But I always believe there's a shot for Boise State. And then it's our job to handle our side of the bargain.
You said that you guys were in danger, and then you became dangerous. I think it was after the Fresno State game, the morning after. You said you were here like 4:30 a.m. and you said you forgot that it was even your birthday. What do you remember about that morning? Why was the treadmill or whatever you were on? Why was that your release? And was there any ultimate takeaway from that morning?
Yeah, soft as it sounds, I was actually on the elliptical, Jay, at 4 a.m. No, I mean it was a time for me and to just really collect my thoughts. The day prior was the first time as a head coach I ever lost on the blue, booed off the field. Painful moment for me and our players, painful moment for our program, and just really wanted to get some time by myself. Couldn't really sleep and just really wanted to learn, man, what are some things that we need to do better? What are some things? Because I don't ever want to be reactionary as a leader. I don't want to look at a game you lose and then react. I want to respond with answers. I want to have answers to why are we not playing as good as we should on offense, defense, special teams, player-related stuff. And so just needed time, did a lot of prayer, and just like, Lord, what are maybe some things I'm missing? What are some things I got to do better up in this culture? And use those few hours by myself in the dark to be ready to meet with our staff. Because I always want to be very consistent with our staff. I always be very consistent with our players. Where you win a game, you lose a game. Yeah, there could be a different urgency in my tone, but I don't want anyone to guess who I'm going to be as a leader. I want to be very, very consistent. And so I just took that time in the morning to collect my thoughts, to learn, to think, to have some really good questions for our staff, and so that we could grow and be better in the future.
How do you routine, like getting up on the elliptical, or like what? Yeah, I don't know. Is that?
Yeah, I try to find my way in the weight room most every day in the morning. Me and Coach Hilgart will get after it a few days a week. I work out with our freshmen 2 days a week, which is probably the best thing I do. I work with our developmental group. I'm in there back squatting with them. I'm getting my tail kicked, but it's a good time for me to be around our players. But then there's also moments that I'll just be in there just working out just by myself. I'll be listening to a book or a sermon or something. Just it's time for me. So then when I'm done with that, and then the rest of our team and people are here, I feel like I'm the best version of myself as long as I get that morning time.
We're talking about taking off your shirt.
Yeah.
That message that we saw over the weekend across your chest was something about a broken brother. Can you talk about that?
Yeah. So I've had more text messages about those pictures that I have about our team probably winning a championship game. To be honest with you, I had a couple people text me like, "Hey, I saw the AI generated photos of you," and I'm like, well, sadly enough, they were AI generated. If they were, I would have made some adjustments to them, to be honest with you. But yeah, it was. So when I was 17-ish years old, 17, 18, and, always grew up. I was a 90s kid, right? So, I thought tattoos are really cool. I thought, all the cool kids had tattoos, right? And I remember asking my mom, like, I want to get a tattoo. I want to get a tattoo. And she would always say no. And then, but I realized as I got closer to being 18, if it was something related to family or Jesus, I had a really good shot to get a tattoo. And so it's a tattoo that me and my brother got, and it says, not even death itself can separate a brother. It is something that we kind of came up with together and got it when I was 18 and had some other moments where I thought it was really cool. Now I'm a father of 3, 37 years old. And whenever I go to the pool, everybody looks at me like, why am I there? But it's the reality of what it is. Yeah. Yes, he does. He has it on his back. Yep.
What made you decide to do that pregame?
So we did it last year. Once again, I didn't know Coots set up the media to be there. That's on him. But no, it was we did it last year. We always greet our players. It's something whenever they come to the facility, we're always going to greet them and be around them. And Dirk Cutter actually brought it up last year as taking our shirts off and having a little bit of juice. And so this year, when it's a little bit colder outside and they're coming off the bus, we put the old ski masks on and had our hammers and shirt off and just want to have a lot of joy with our players, want to have a lot of juice. And it was just going to be a fun time with our guys.
It's been obviously a roller coaster, but what is this ride, this journey, what has it taught you about the guys in the locker room?
They're resilient, absolutely resilient. I mean, these guys won't flinch, and even being knocked down, that doesn't mean we're perfect. Doesn't mean we haven't had a lot of things to learn in, but this group of seniors, this group of leaders are absolutely resilient, and they love each other. They care about each other and not focused on what people tell them we are or what people tell us. We're focused on who we are with each other, and it's a resilient group, man. They love each other, and we're excited to finish what we started.
You guys, typically for the championship game, you'll have the whole team carry the hammers out, but I noticed your 4 captains held on to theirs for the coin toss.
Yeah.
What was behind that?
Yeah, they did that. That was them. I mean, we always have the rest of our guys carrying them all out, but they talked about it, and that's the hammer, and we talk a lot about it. Obviously, it's given to the player maybe with the biggest hit or the biggest most effort that game, more times not the biggest hit the week before, but it also symbolizes the blue collar mentality of this place, right? Dan Paul is it's named after Dan Paul because that's who he was, right? That's who this place is. This is a blue collar work ethic, count it out, outwork you. That's us. That's why the hammer's there. It's hard to swing a hammer consistently. If you continue to swing it, you're going to get tired. You're going to get blisters. And so it symbolizes Boise State football. And so in a championship game, I want everybody to carry a hammer out because every single one of them, scout team to the starting players, had something to do with that championship run.
Alex Madsen, the mental space, how was it different today than it was last week?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I don't know if it's much different because he's a competitor. I mean, this time last week, going into the championship game, figuring out if he was going to be healthy enough to play, he was still laser focused. Met with him. He's in our leadership group as a captain, laser focused on Washington. I mean, he doesn't ride high or too low. And that's what makes him an elite leader is he's very, very consistent and he's a cold-blooded competitor.
I feel the vibe is, I'm not talking last year for the CFP, but the 2 years to the LA Bowl, both were teams that had to come back. And you got a quarterback that you think probably is playing in Madsen where you lost Green. It just seems like there's a better vibe on this team.
Yeah, I know our guys are just very, very proud, right? When I was able to, and I haven't been around them completely yet. Sundays are off. I was around them on Saturday for their med check, but just proud. But every single one said, Coach, job's not done. We got one more game. But I'm proud of them. I mean, seeing the joy. I remember being on the stage looking down at our players and the joy on their face and remembering to Jay's question a month earlier, there wasn't a lot of joy. There was a lot of people frustrated, heartache, where you put so much into something and it not going the way you wanted to, right? And fans have their opinion, but, man, I see these kids work. I see them here at 5:30 in the morning, leaving when it's dark because of the work they put in. And that's why it breaks my heart when it doesn't go well for them. But then seeing that moment of joy means the world. And so they're very, very fulfilled, but also understand we still got one more game to play. And we put a premium on football here, and job's not done.
What role does Rachel play in your response? And obviously after the game, she was on the stage with you, and she's holding up the number 3 too. And then wasn't she the one that reminded you or sent you a message or something that it was your birthday that day?
Oh, yeah.
What happened there?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, my wife, my sweet wife, Rachel, man, she is my rock, man. She keeps me very focused on just things that matter. right? And especially even with our family, and especially we have 3 kids under 4 years old right now, and you come to our house right now, it looks like a bomb went off just because it's just you're chasing around a 4, a 3, and a 9-month-old. It's a lot, and my wife is a rock star with it, and she gives me such a good heartbeat on our players, right? And when she never asks questions about how are we going to play defensively this week. She asks about how's Ty Benefield, how's he doing, how's Sire Gaines, and it's such a good reminder to me of why we are in this, right? It's what we feel God has called us to do. It's not, well, that's what Spencer does for work. No, Rachel's called to this too. And when we started dating and got married at Azusa Pacific, making $8,000, it was like, you sure you want to do this? Because I know this is what I'm going to do. And she was all in then. She's all in now. And she's a rock for me. And she keeps me focused on the things that matter.
Looking at Washington's run defense, what impresses you most about them, and what do they do to really throw teams out of their game?
Yeah. First off, their front plays really, really good. I think 2 of their edge guys are 2 of the better edge guys we've seen. Their D tackles play really well with their technique. Linebackers are very smart. Their offense is very similar to our offense, right? Pro style. And they can fit every run scheme from mid zone to gap schemes to whatever. You're not going to see them short. And they're very, very athletic at linebacker and safety, and they fit fast now. And so they're very, very well coached, and got a lot of respect for what they do defensively. And especially in the Big Ten, they see a lot of different offenses, and they're very, very stout.
Your Sunday conversation with Coach Pete, was it any different yesterday, and do you expect to talk again throughout this week?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and he texted me after the championship game, just so proud. And then Saturday, hit him up about, potentially playing Washington and kind of mess with him a little bit. But no, we talked on Sunday, and because yes, when we talk, it's not so much about who we are playing. We had conversations about Washington, and he's obviously very connected there. So we're not going to, he wouldn't get involved in the opponent. So much of it is just more our team, my process, my heart on kind of messaging where I feel this team is at. What are maybe some things that I need, maybe some hard conversation with players or coaches that I got to have? What are some maybe ways to do that? So much of it is more our culture, our process. But you better believe I was messing with him a little bit about UW.
Yeah, one more. A couple of your newest signees that were in the stands, on Friday night. One thing this program sells is winning and a chance to win championships. So how important is it to achieve what you guys did on Friday, and maybe for some of those guys to actually see it?
Yeah. I mean, being a three-peat champions, that's hats off to our players and our staff. I don't know how many teams across the country can say that. I would assume probably not many. And so when we talk about coming here, developing you, built different is building champions on and off the field. So when you talk about the football piece, nothing's promised. I can't promise a championship in 26, no different than I couldn't promise one in 25. But when you say, hey, we've won it 3 times in a row, I think that shows recruits and families that we have a process to win championships, and then show them our players and our process for building them off the field. That's why we've been able to get some really, really talented players, but players with very, very high character that want that for their life. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
See you guys down there.
Go for it, guys.
How impressed were you with Maddox coming back, and not having any rust or anything?
Very impressed. Very impressed. He made a ton of plays for us, and he jumped right back in like he hasn't missed a day. And he was a huge piece of what we were able to do and a big reason why we were able to win that game.
What's going through your mind to see that first touchdown? You decided to take off and run for that thing, right? So you only know until you know, right? Was there anything in your mind that was like, make sure he's okay or see what he's got? Like, what's going through your mind as he takes off there?
Go score. I had full confidence. I have full confidence in Maddox. I knew he was ready to play. I knew he was going to play well. So I really wasn't thinking twice when he would take off and run. I was excited to see him just playing ball.
In the game head-to-head, I thought one of the biggest differences was third downs. You guys were about 50%. They were about 25%. Why were you guys so good on third down?
I think Coach Miller and Coach Hill do a phenomenal job in the prep and the game planning on third down to give us an advantage. And I think guys have to make plays in those situations, and our guys did that, and that's a big part of it. Maddox gave them a shot, and the guys made plays. So really proud of that group, but again, really proud of the coaches too, because for back-to-back weeks now, we've had a really good plan on third down that's putting us in position to be successful.
Speaking of third down, Chase Penry has 5 catches on 3rd and 10 or more this year. All of them have gone for first downs, and those 5 first downs are top 10 in the country. For a guy that doesn't get a ton of doesn't get a ton of volume, why is he been the guy that apparently has kind of shown up in those moments? And those are big drive extending opportunities, obviously.
Yeah, I think he's built a lot of confidence in those situations, and I think it's showing up in games. And as he keeps doing that, he keeps executing. I think it just keeps better and better. But it goes back to finding what guys do best, and what he does best is make the play we need on third down, get open on third down, be in the right spot where he needs to be, and that's a huge part just for offense, but for a quarterback too, is just knowing where each guy's going to be and trusting they're going to be there and make the play for you. And Chase does a phenomenal job.
What do you got 3rd and 17 early in the game meant to your offense at that point?
That's a huge momentum swing. And I think that's kind of the mentality that we've been taking as an offense, is we're going to stay on the attack. We're not going to, settle on 3rd and 17. We're going to try to get a chunk. We're going to try to get that first down. And a big part of that is me trusting our guys and our guys coming through and executing like they've been doing. So really proud of them, but that was a huge momentum swing for our entire team.
Obviously, those 2 46-yard gains set up touchdowns, but I'm sure he would have loved to get in the end zone. Did you kind of get that sense from him that he's like, all right, I want to finish one of these?
Absolutely. I don't think anybody wants to be down at the 1-yard line and have the big guys come out. But at that point, it was just so excited about just what he was doing to impact the game and just the explosive nature that he played with the entire game. And I'm sure he wanted that touchdown. We all did for him, but it was such a huge part of our success as a team was Chase Penry and the way he was playing.
You've won a lot of conference championships here, player, coach. Was this your favorite?
This was a very unique one in a lot of ways. A new role, new team, just the adversity that we had to battle through, and the resiliency of this group, this team, this offense. It was a unique perspective for me because I was more proud of everybody else around than really any personal accomplishment or anything like that. It was more, I was so excited about the players achieving this goal and the work that they put in and what they deserved. And so that's what made it special to me.
You like just kind of diving right back into game week and then your season's over on Saturday night as opposed to maybe waiting to play, in 3 or 4 weeks?
I think it's great to stay in rhythm, stay in the routine, whether you're a coach or you're a player, you're able to kind of stick with your normal weekly game plan. For our guys, you don't get out of football shape or football rhythm because you're right back into your normal Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So I think it's really critical for our guys, and it's a great opportunity. It's a great opponent and a great bowl. So I think it's really positive for our entire program.
Where do you think the offense improved the most from the start of the season?
A big piece this past game, last couple games, is we haven't been turning the ball over. and that's been a point of emphasis for us offensively throughout the entire season. But that's a huge step for success for the whole team. But that's something that obviously has hurt us throughout the season, but we've done a great job with that. And I think everybody individually has gotten a little bit better within their role, within how they execute. And I think the mentality of the entire group kind of hit a rhythm towards the end of the season. And I think that makes everybody better.
What's your relationship like with Madsen, Nate? Like, sorry, guys. As an OC, do you like to have like one-on-one time with your quarterback at certain points during the week? Just you guys. Like, how's that relationship work? Because you're not a position coach, quarterback coach, but you're the OC.
Yeah, it really, it's kind of week to week or what is needed. With Maddox and with Coach Hill and everybody else that's in our staff, I don't need a long weekly one-on-one with him. I usually have a pretty good feel with how he's doing based on being out there with him at practice every day. So that kind of changes week by week, but he's pretty dang good, pretty dang smart. So there's not a whole lot football-wise that I need to sit down one-on-one with him. Usually it's just checking in if I need to, just seeing how he's doing. But we got such a great staff that a lot of people involved where I feel pretty confident what I see and what I'm hearing on the practice field is going to translate on game day.
When you look at the Big Ten, or historically, obviously, they're known for run games, 3 yards in a cloud of dust. Washington's defense has done a good job of shutting down Big Ten offenses in the run game this year. What impresses you most about them, and what do you guys have to do to kind of break through that?
Yeah, I mean, the stats speak for themselves. The film speaks for itself. It's phenomenal defense. They've done a great job all year. And yeah, a big part of it's scheme, it's players. There's a lot of factors. For us, it's going to be just winning our one-on-ones when we have that opportunity to do it, and then making sure that we have answers for what they like to do, which is not an easy task. But at the end of the day, the run game is really a big part, mentality over everything, and trying to get those 4 or 5 yard runs that eventually might break into something else. But they're not going to give you anything easy. You got to earn it, and you got to execute.
We've seen on Malik the last couple of games where he's really making some plays in the passing game. I don't know if it's just coincidental or not, but it seems like the last couple of weeks that's where he's really been utilized.
Yeah, I think that's been a strength of his all season, and I think he's really taken advantage of a lot of those plays, those opportunities. Kind of made something out of nothing a couple of weeks ago, but he's playing really confident right now, and he always plays such a critical role in what we do with our protection and how selfless he is on third downs, being able to protect the quarterback. So it's always great to see him kind of get those touches, get those explosive plays, and really be a huge factor for our offense.
Any more? Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, guys.
Cool. Whenever you're ready. What do you make of the matchup with Washington?
It's exciting. This bowl game is a little bit unusual because it's like a game week, right? So it was kind of get in here, get the film broke down, and get right back to work. Didn't have a lot of time to, some of these games, you have a month off or a couple weeks. So this is more of a just week 14, I guess, or week 13, whatever this is. But excited about the matchup versus a really good Washington team. They have, really good running back, really good receivers. I think their O-line, they got some young guys, but they're really good, and their quarterback can make a lot of things happen. So excited about the matchup.
How it just rolls right into game week is kind of unique, but with what it means now, but also in terms of maybe getting a little more break for the players and coaches and everybody afterwards. And
yeah, there's pluses and minuses. I think, there's some definite pluses about going right into a game week. You stay in battle rhythm, coaches and players. I think there's not a lot of, overthinking things as you kind of roll right through your you're always going to add some things for every game, but you're going through your system. Some of the negatives obviously are, it's not as much of a, I guess, bowl experience for the guys because it's such a short week, and then you miss a little bit of developmental practice with the younger guys because you're allowed 15, but you're never going to even get close to that when you play in 1 week. So definitely pluses and minuses.
Last couple of weeks on third downs, you guys have been unbelievable. What have you seen on what you guys have been able to do on third downs in the last 2 weeks?
Honestly, I think the guys really understand what we're trying to do, what looks we're trying to show, and then they've been executing. It's the players. I mean, we try to put them in the best position we think possible for them, but they have to execute, and they've done an unbelievable job of executing, both in the rush and the coverage. So really proud of those kids, man. They've done a really good job, and something we talked about early. We weren't as good on third down, a couple of those games, even looking back to that Air Force game, that caused us some issues where, we could have had a much better defensive showing, I guess, on paper if we'd have got off the field on third down. So I think the kids have really took an onus to improve in that area, and I'm really proud of what they've done in the last few weeks.
We obviously had a couple of moments offensively, but, I mean, Calandria completed almost 70% of his passes this season. You guys hold him well under 50%. That offense came in top 15 in the country and everything, and they only scored 21 points. And it just seemed like most of the night, everything was really hard for them on offense. How did you guys do that?
Yeah, I think that's what we try to do every week. We try to, take away what they do best and make them work for that yardage. Obviously, the end of the first half, that second to last drive, we kind of, didn't execute as well as we had the rest of the game. In the third drive, they got me on a couple, just completely honest. Like they got me on a draw when I didn't think it was going to happen. I should have cut the front up, didn't do it. And they got a couple big plays there. And Anthony Chinander is a really good player. And if you give him a couple inches, he's going to make it work. But, I thought we did a good job. I thought they were really efficient running gap schemes coming into the game, powers and counters. And I thought we did a good job fitting those up. Thought we did a good job in coverage. They made a couple completions early, but I thought our guys played, aggressive man coverage when we asked them to, and they played with good zone eyes when we asked them to do that. And then we started seeing some other things that they had in the game plan that they had not probably shown on film that I thought our guys did a good job adjusting to. And they weren't all going to be TFLs, but they held them, to not explosive plays. So just once again, happy for the kids, proud of what they did, adjusting throughout the game.
You guys have faced mobile quarterbacks, but is Damon Williams kind of another level of mobile quarterback? I know Calandria can do some things, but I've seen Damon do some things that are like Lamar Jackson stuff running the ball. Do you have a comparison there? And
yeah, it's a different animal a little bit because I think, I don't want to compare anybody to anybody, but Calandria, he was dangerous when they ran deep routes and he's getting out of the pocket and running, which he can do too. But I think, you watch the film we're watching today and sometimes zone read and they got a guy surfing and a guy on the edge and he just decides I'm going to pull it and outrun everybody. You know what I mean? So he's got that ability where even if people are in the right position, he can just flat out run people. So it's going to have to be a game where we're going to have eyes on him. We're going to have a good plan in the run game and the pass game to keep him contained and not let him just get huge chunk plays. I think he's going to get some plays. Like, he's a really good player, but we cannot allow him to get huge chunk plays.
What do you think? What's your best trait or skill as a DC, do you think, Chins? What are you best at?
I don't know. That's a good question. I've always thought about it like, you know, like, I don't know, X's and O's, or I think we've had some good game plans. We've had some not so good game plans, but like, I think the more you get into this thing, like, I got to be the belief chief. Like, I believe in these kids. I got to get them to believe in themselves. I got to get them to believe into what we're doing, play really hard, execute, believe in each other. And then on the sideline, like, our sideline has been unbelievable, especially the second half of the season. Like, nobody's flinched. Nobody's pointed a finger. Nobody's been down on another guy. Nobody's been down on themselves. They've adjusted everything we've asked them to. So I think just, you know, getting the kids to believe in themselves, believe in each other, that's got to be my best trait right now for this team.
I think the coming down to the field was just a this team this season needed to happen now, or are you never going back to the box as a DC?
I don't know. I mean, I think that there's going to be probably a time where a team needs me upstairs, but I really like it downstairs for right now. So that's where I plan to stay until the team needs me somewhere else. And when that time comes, then I'll make that move if I need to. Like I said, man, whatever I need to do for the team, schematically, where I'm at on the field, which position I need to coach, like that has zero relevance to me. It's just whatever the team needs.
What aspect of the defense do you think you've improved the most from the beginning until now?
Well, I think you've said it. I think third down defense has been much improved. And then obviously I think that we've been playing really well in the defensive backfield the second half of the season. So I think those two areas are probably the biggest improvement. You know, obviously something we've got to improve on a little bit more is, you know, we've got to fit the runs a little bit better. I thought they did that, you know, Friday night pretty well. But there's been times in the season where we haven't been exactly where we needed to be in those run fits. And that's something we've got to continue to improve on in the off season and as we get prepared for this bowl game.
In terms of all the guys that you've coached, maybe focusing especially on the secondary, where's a guy like Ty Benefield rank for you? And how much more, like, with what he's been able to do this year? Like, I mean, he's all over the place. He does a little bit of everything, it seems like, for you. I mean, how much is he capable of doing, too, for that matter?
Yeah, I think he's capable of anything, right? Ty's got to walk the walk here at the end of the season, kind of see where he's going to be at with this whole you know, NFL and all those kind of things. Hopefully he's a Bronco next year. That would make me very happy. But it also would make me very happy to watch him play on Sunday. But I think all those guys, when you're talking about first round picks, second round picks, those guys have kind of the same trait where they're physical as a defensive back, number one. Number two, they've got great energy. Number three, they all love football and love to practice. And number four, like, all those guys that have been first and second round picks you've always been able to do a lot with them. And whether that's a corner that's a really, really good punt and kick returner, or a corner that can blitz and do those things, or a safety that can come in the box and be in coverage, like those guys that have position flex have always been the guys that have been, you know, drafted a little bit higher for me. And I think Ty fits into those molds.
Anything else?
How about Max Steege? Like, when you got two edges last year that, you know, they combined for over 20 sacks on Ed and JVM, obviously expectations are pretty high. What have you made about the progress Max has made this year? And then also, like, I mean, he did make a big play right off the bat that kind of set the tone for you guys, it seemed like, on Friday.
Yeah, I think Max has made a ton of progress. Like I said, Coach Frazier's done a great job with that room. You know, not only Max, but you're seeing, you know, Roman Kaywood get in the game and make big plays, and Bull get in the plays. And he's doing a really good job with the other freshmen that haven't got to play yet, but they will here in the near future. But Max has made a ton of progress. he's confident. He's got developing leadership traits. His work ethic is unmatched. He's only going to get better and better. And I'm very, very glad that he's on our team, and he's a young guy that's coming back for more.
That opening play, was that kind of like a tone setter?
Yeah, I think anytime you can get a negative on play one is huge. And I think, players are players. They're still young guys. So no different if you're an offensive player or a defensive player. You need to touch early to get it going. And whether that's, spilling a big block or getting a PBU or getting that first tackle or getting that first, I don't coach offense, but that first carry or first completion or whatever, anytime you get a touch early, it just seems to get you going. And then Max brings a lot of energy, so that got everybody else going too. So it was a tone setter for us.
Yeah, let's about Marco real quick. Just his final game on the Blue the other day, and it's in the fourth quarter, and you guys are in control of the game, but he's driving there, and they got a chance to get back in, and Marco comes with a big sack that just completely demolishes that drive. What was it like to see that guy specifically make a play in that moment, and why did you call on him to make that play?
Yeah, awesome to watch him play, and Marco's like the number one guy that I go to try to make some adjustments, and not that anybody's doing anything wrong, but there's things that happen within the game. You need to adjust a little bit. And I know if I need something adjusted, I can get to him. He can get the front sent differently. He can play a play differently that we need him to. We talked about on that one how we were going to cage this quarterback, and we knew that if we called on him, he would get the job done. Did we know it was going to be a sack? Obviously, no. But we knew he was going to get the job done. He was going to keep that quarterback in the pocket. He was going to make some kind of play for the defense.
Cool. Thanks, Coach.
All right, guys. Thank you.